How are we doing there, superstars? I hope you're all well and smiling. It is a beautiful Sunday. It's the 6th day of April 2008 and it's time to reflect on the week that was and put forward the future investigations for the Project Bluestar campaign. Great to see you all and let's check it out now.
Okay Groovers, on Monday the Federation team looked at Millicom PGS and the energy crisis, which is a question of survival on the planet Earth.
Okay, renewable energy. So why is renewable energy so important, Tommy?
Well, Danny, right now 70 million tonnes of carbon dioxide is pumped out into the atmosphere every single day.
Probably the first step with renewable energy is also a spiritual revolution.
The world population in the year 2100 will be in excess of 12 billion people. If the current trends in technological progress and innovation continue, the demand for energy then will be 5 times greater than what it is now. And no one needs reminding of the adverse effects of using non-renewable energy. So what's the reality of energy consumption around the world? Though accounting for only 5% of the world's population, Americans consume 26% of the world's energy. Worldwide, some 2 billion people are without electricity. So what's the solution? Well, if we are to survive, we'll need to drastically alter our consumption of non-renewable resources. The greatest part of this change is that our lifestyle and our health will improve with it. As one human family, we carry the capacity to change and to invent our future together. So let's work together and step by step work towards a common future. A great insight into the powers of energy, and on Tuesday the Federation investigation that looked at humanity versus profit, where Danny explored capitalism as it has become the vessel of self-destruction for the human race. Capitalism contradicts our most fundamental necessities and corrodes the foundations of human rights itself.
Political, social and economic structures. Humanity versus profit.
Thomas Jefferson himself said we need to defend humanity's unalienable rights to life, liberty and the pursuit of happiness. The laws of ethics and morals must lead the future of our industries. Danny explored ways in which humanity can move forward in this time of change on the planet Earth, and if we are to survive during this unprecedented period of climatic variation, we'll have to adopt new morals and new standards that can help drive our industries up to new levels. And it was on Wednesday where Danny and myself explored the ancient art form of meditation, and what a wonderful, wonderful art she is in its ability to still the mind and relax the body in this time where tension has never been so high on the planet Earth. So meditation is the solution. And now let's look at our Vegetarian Wednesday special.
Our father and macaroni, is it?
Yeah, vegetarian macaroni.
You little beauty.
Go vegetarian, go Joey.
That sounds great.
So, Joey is about to cook up a storm. What's the agenda for today, Dad?
We're making a macaroni, a special macaroni. There's no meat, so it's vegetarian macaroni.
It sure is amazing how by eating less meat we can reduce our impact on the planet Earth. What a great solution.
And while she's
By eating less meat we can ensure that we reduce our impact on land use. We also reduce the amount of water we consume. We also reduce the amount that we slaughter animals every day on the planet. And finally, we reduce the amount of cholesterol that builds up in our body and ultimately leads to heart disease and stroke. So, vegetarian is the key. Eat less meat. Joey's vegetarian macaroni turned out to be an absolute pearler.
looking like.
And then on Thursday, Danny investigated ice melt on the planet Earth.
We've had hurricane force winds hitting here.
Danny's investigation unveiled that the northern polar ice caps could completely melt by the summer of 2013, and that recent measurements of ice cover have reported the lowest levels ever of ice ever recorded. This ultimately indicates that the rate of climate change on Earth will exceed many scientific estimates.
There's huge amounts of water being dumped into the oceans from the melting of our ice, and it is going to change our weather systems via changing the currents through our ocean. These are the issues we have to face with our generation, and we have to start altering our lifestyle, altering the way we think, changing our perception and getting on with the world as we know it.
And then it was on to Funny Friday.
One thought came to mind: is a clear conscience just from a person who has a bad memory, and if at first we don't succeed, is parachuting not for you? I don't know. How are you feeling today, Danny?
Oh, My legs are ready to rock and roll, Tommy. I think the hamstrings are stretched. It's nice to be back here in the land of Victoria.
Okay team, let's take a very quick look at the American budget, and let's remember it's not the American administration's fault that they never learned to accept responsibility. After all, man invented language to satisfy his deep need to complain, and rest assured, women and cats will do as they please, and men and dogs should relax and get used to the idea. And then Danny and I picked up the guitar and got stuck into some Lost at Sea, MILK.
It's all over you and it's getting to me. To get lost at sea, I don't know, hey. Get lost at sea, I don't know, hey. Get lost at sea, I don't know.
That's just sensational, but now it's time for a beautiful Saturday where Danny and myself got into the backyard of the Federation headquarters itself at Mount Martha, Victoria, and explored the wonderful Pleiadian civilisations, but not without first exploring some of the torrential weather systems which have hit the southern parts of Victoria in Melbourne, Australia. Without further ado, we explored the Seven Sisters, the Pleiadian star systems itself, which is a wonderful and ancient constellation.
Taurus is, we've got the Pleiades constellation, which technically the stories talk about 7 stars within the Pleiades, 7 sisters, and she's about 200 stars in total if you blow her up on a scale.
The Pleiadian star system is found in the constellation of Taurus, right next to the Hyades constellation. She's around about 380 light years from Earth itself, and the Hyades just 150 light years. She's close to home, and that's why she's one of our wonderful neighbours who's here to protect the unfoldment of the wonderful human race during this time of unprecedented change and transformation of the human consciousness.
See you now, Tommy. Good on you guys. See you in a few moments. It's been a pleasure. It's exciting getting on a plane.
While I flew to Alice Springs, Danny Boy and Joey and Alana got to the big game itself, the Kangaroos versus the Hawks. What a cracker! And it was here where Danny compared the magnificent Pleiadian starships to the wonderful sporting grounds on planet Earth. What a cracker, some of them 3 miles long.
Tommy, how's your flight?
The Pleiadian civilisations are up there with the wonderful Arcturians. They're there to assist the human race during this time of transformation. Alrighty team, let's check out what Danny was up to down on the Mornington Peninsula in the wonderful Melbourne. Take it away, Danny.
Oh, what a cracker. Welcome everybody, g'day Tommy, back in Central Australia. It is the 6th day of April and I'm here with Alana and we're here at the Dramana Trash and Treasure Market and we've stocked up on some goodies. It's been a wonderful week. It's Sunday, it's the panel, been some wonderful shows there for PGS solutions around the world. Global Rescue looked into the inside of melting ice around the planet and that scientists have brought their time back to around 2013 to make sure you've got your woolly mittens on, make sure you've got a pair of undies on and a pair of skis, I reckon. And obviously there was Funny Fridays and they can't go past the comment of the week on Funny Friday. Take my advice, I don't use it anyway. That's just a cracker. Did you hear that one? No. Okay, you missed that one, that was a good one. Anyway guys, it's goodbye here from Dramana on the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria. Tommy, I hope you're having fun back in the Red Centre. We'll be there in 2 days' time. Have fun guys, have a lovely next week.
Okay superstars, we hope you enjoyed the Federation investigations for the week that was. Now let's look at some news from around the world. First up for regions of India where reports of severe rain, hail and storms and strong winds are occurring. In Ridgeland, Mississippi, a tornado has been reported. Severe rains in Brazil have caused floods and the loss of 10 lives, 10 fatalities there, and 30,000 people have been displaced as a result of this severe rain. Further, the Hawaiian volcanic activity continues now in 2 regions where reports of lava flow are occurring. Okay team, before we sign out for this transmission, let's look at the topics for the coming week, and beyond that I hope you're all smiling and well, and we'll catch you in a few moments.
Okay team, on Monday we're looking at domes, on Tuesday it's aquanaut and dolphins, on Wednesday vegetarian, sushi and the planet Mercury, on Thursday we're looking at food stocks for global rescue, on Friday it's MILK, on Saturday we're looking at Freedom Friday, human rights and civilizations, all before we review at the panel on Sunday. See you guys soon.